Hello lovely brides and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren, wedding planner and owner of Bluebow Creative. I provide a weekly dose of wedding planning goodness for the modern bride, and if you haven't already then make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for some more wedding planning goodness. So guys, we are about to jump into a video all about delegating on your wedding day. Okay, you cannot work on your wedding day. You need people to help you, and today I'm going through all the different areas that need to be done on your day that you cannot do. But let's talk about who can help you. Now you're gonna notice a bit of a time warp in a minute because I actually filmed this video a couple of weeks ago and then never got round to actually getting it up. I know, right? And I forgot to film an intro for it. So this is the intro, and it is hot and sunny and I'm in summer clothes and I have roots in my hair. And we're about to jump into the video with all the goodness for you where I have no roots, pre-lockdown, and it's a bit colder and I'm wearing a woolly jumper. But hey, you're still getting your value and you're still getting that goodness and that information to help you with your wedding planning. So I hope you find this video helpful and I'll see you at the end. On your wedding day itself, there are still jobs that need to be done and you do not want to be doing them yourself. Your wedding day is all about you, not you doing jobs and having to think about tasks. You should be relaxing, you should be enjoying yourself, you should be soaking it up and just enjoying every moment, not having to think about has this been done and has that been done. So delegating is the key to being stress-free on your wedding day. So let's start simple. On your wedding day, you will need to settle up with some of your suppliers and some of them may need some cash payments on the day. So it's best to have them put into separate envelopes with the supplier's name or company written on them. And then those envelopes need to be handed over to somebody responsible, not you or your other half. Now, I personally think somebody that has a jacket or pockets is a better person than somebody with a handbag, for example. So you could ask the mother of the bride or maid of honor, but they're gonna have to put them in their bag. They may not always have their bag on them. So I just think it's better to have the envelopes in a jacket pocket because it's going to be on their person the whole time. Clients that I've worked with usually delegate to father of the bride, the best man, an usher, family member, your Toastmaster, or designated speaker. So pick somebody that you know is responsible and that is going to keep those envelopes nice and close to them until the suppliers have arrived and they can hand over the final payments for you. So next up, there are a few jobs that need to be done during the ceremony and during the drinks reception. Now, you have most likely chosen ushers and therefore this is actually their job. So let's just briefly go over what they should be dealing with during the ceremony and the drinks reception. So obviously you're going to have orders of service or orders of ceremony depending on whether you're getting married in a church or having a civil ceremony. So your ushers will need to hand out your orders of service, whether that's placing them on the chairs prior to your guests arriving, whether that's handing them out to guests as they arrive, whatever suits you, but make sure that they know what they're doing and that it's actually done. Hopefully you won't have to chase them on the day. The next job that they need to do, which kind of coincides with handing out those orders of service, is actually helping seat your guests because it's all going to be happening at the same time. You may have somebody handing out orders of service whilst another or two ushers might be helping guests to their seats. So they'll be making sure that nobody sits in the front row or the front two rows because they'll probably be reserved for your close family and the bridal party. And they might be helping the elderly to their seats, letting guests know which side to sit, if any. So just generally helping people to their seats and making sure everybody is comfortable, ready for your arrival. Next on the list of jobs for the ushers during the ceremony or just after the ceremony is helping get your guests ready for the confetti shot, if that's something that you've chosen. So whether that's handing out boxes of confetti as your guests go in, whether that's handing out boxes of confetti as your guests go out, depending on when you're actually doing your confetti shot, whether there's a basket of petals and people need to take a handful, whether they're scooping them into little pots, either way your ushers need to be there to just help orchestrate that so that it can all be smooth sailing for you. If you're not having confetti as such because your venue doesn't allow it, then whether they're handing out bubbles or whatever it is that you've decided to do instead. They They can help get people to the designated area, make sure that they've got the confetti to throw or to blow or whatever it is that you've decided to do so that you get the perfect shot. And finally, on the ushers and bridesmaids list of duties, before they can actually sort of start to relax and not have to worry about doing too much for the rest of the day, is helping the photographer with the shot list. So the photographer won't really know who anybody is at your wedding except for yourselves, and they will be given a shot list by yourself with a list of names or family members that you want included in a couple of family shots. So the best people to get on board to help make this nice and smooth is the bridesmaids and the ushers. They are the people that are most likely to know most of your guests. So by getting them on board, it will no doubt make it quicker, smoother, a lot less stressful. So they can go around your guests and gather the people together ready for the next shot, because you don't want your whole drinks reception to be wasted on trying to find guests. Okay, so moving on, somebody else that you will need to help with a particular role on your wedding day is a Toastmaster. Now, you can hire a Toastmaster. It's quite a traditional thing. They wear a red jacket, they have a boomy voice, and it's not really everybody's cup of tea nowadays. There are a few Toastmasters out there that are a little bit more current and modern. They don't wear the same outfit and they're not quite so old-fashioned, as you might say, but you can hire a Toastmaster to do all the announcements for you. However, it is not necessary to do that, and you can just choose somebody in your wedding party, a close family friend or a member of family, to be your Toastmaster. Obviously making sure that they're confident speaking in public and that they have a nice loud voice. Somebody that is a very quiet speaker and perhaps shy would not be a good choice for this role. Now, a Toastmaster's jobs involve calling all your guests from the drinks reception to go through to the wedding breakfast and start taking their seats. They will then announce the new Mr. and Mrs. into the wedding breakfast. They may announce the start of the speeches, but that's not always necessary, as the father of the bride may just start off the speeches. But you can have them announce the speeches if you want to. They may also step in at the end of the speeches if they're at the end of the wedding breakfast, which we've obviously covered in a previous video. And they may then ask the guests to make their way to the bar for the evening reception to commence. They may also announce the cake cutting and the first dance. Sometimes that job is taken over by a DJ or a band, but again, a Toastmaster can do it. It's completely up to you. But you don't want to be doing it, so you need to consider who is going to do it. You can also, if you're having a wedding planner, they can take that role on as well. Okay, so what about the setup? Have you gone through an absolutely meticulous plan for the setup and styling of your wedding day? Have you decided to really get style-led and think about some creative spaces and your cake setup, etc.? Is everything really, really detailed? If so, who's actually setting it up for you? If you haven't got access to your venue the day before, you can't do it yourself. Are the venue going to do it? But are they actually going to follow the full detailed plan? Because obviously they actually have other jobs to do as well. Your caterers are usually pretty good at this, but they can't take on the whole thing. So sometimes it might even be worth asking a close family member or friend that isn't in your bridal party, because they will obviously be with you. So you can always see if somebody's willing to step in and help. Definitely something to consider if you have gone through meticulous plans and everything is really detailed. And finally, who is managing your day for you? So obviously you have again created a fantastic event. Your wedding day is extremely special to you and you want to make sure that everything flows and runs as you've planned it. But who's actually going to make sure that that happens? Have you got somebody making sure that all the timings run to plan, making sure that the suppliers actually turn up when they need to, that your timeline actually fit and works for everybody to set up at the right time around each other? Who's going to be keeping an eye on the timings throughout the day? If your venue has something along those lines, then that's absolutely fantastic. If you're in a dry hire venue, you probably won't have that. You'll have a catering event manager and they will obviously manage all the catering side of things, and they're pretty good, but they don't quite do the same job as managing the whole event. So if you're worried about something like that, then it's definitely worth looking into actually getting a wedding coordinator. So a wedding coordinator is basically somebody that just turns up on the day and ensures that everything runs exactly how you have planned it. They'll make sure that the setup that we talked about previously is done exactly as you want it to. They'll oversee all your suppliers plans for you, making sure that they turn up on time and that everything is just getting done as you've envisaged it and as you've planned it. They'll then make sure that the day runs smoothly, dealing with any unforeseens, which I have to say they do happen, and they'll make sure that the speeches kind of run to time, and they'll liaise with the caterers if the speeches aren't running to time and adjust the plans, and they're basically there to be support for you on the day. You don't need to know if anything's not gone to plan. They will deal with it for you. They will make sure that they know you and how you would want it to be dealt with so that you can literally just enjoy your day. You know, there's always these extra bits. They're making sure that your guests are happy. They're making sure that you're happy all the time, making sure that you've got a drink whenever you need it, and making sure the day runs smoothly. So if that's something that you think would work for you, then definitely look into getting a wedding day coordinator. So guys, I hope you found that video helpful. See, bit of a time jump, right? You can really notice the hair situation now, can't you? Okay, so as always, don't forget I've got my Facebook group that will help you with your wedding planning. It's totally free and I have over 700 brides in there at the moment, all helping with their wedding planning. We're on the journey together, and there's a lot of support going on right now because of all the postponements that are going on. So if you want to join that, then check out the description box below. You can also get my free wedding planning checklist down there as well to help you throughout the process. Anyway guys, I will be back next week with some more wedding planning goodness. Until then, I'll see you later.